This is Tim Bryce with my column titled Proof of Technology Addiction. When I learned of a new study warning of the addictive power of technology, I was pleased. I've been describing the adverse effects of technology since 2007, arriving at the conclusion in 2011 that personal technology is a drug with addictive powers. Now it appears there is finally some scientific data to confirm my theory. The first is a report in the August 27th issue of the New York Post by Dr. Nicholas Kardaras, who contends technology raises dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with rewards such as sex. He goes on to say, quote, recent brain imaging research is showing that they affect the brain's frontal cortex, which controls executive functioning, including impulse control, in exactly the same way that cocaine does, end quote. Kardaras is also the author of Glow Kids, How Screen Addiction is Hijacking Our Kids and How to Break the Trance hardcover, released August 9, 2016 by St. Martin's Press. He goes on to cite Dr. Peter Whybrow, a director of neuroscience at the University of California, and Chinese researchers claiming screens are like electronic cocaine or digital heroin to young children. And once they've reached the addictive levels, their personalities change, such as becoming increasingly depressed, anxious, and aggressive. I have mentioned numerous studies over the years which support this thesis, but three in particular are worth noting. In 2005, a King's College London University study by Dr. Glenn Wilson found workers distracted by technology suffer a greater loss of IQ than if they had smoked marijuana. In 2010, the World Unplugged was a global media study led by the International Center for Media and the Public Agenda at the University of Maryland. As part of their conclusions, the report commented how students in the study handled the lack of media, meaning electronic devices, saying, quote, going without media during the World Unplugged study made students more cognizant of the presence of media, both media's benefits and their limitations, and perhaps what students become most cognizant of was their absolute inability to direct their lives without media. The depths of the addiction that students reported prompted some to confess that they had learned that they needed to curb their media habits. Most students doubted they would have much success, but they acknowledged that their reliance on media was to some degree self-imposed and actually inhibited their ability to manage their lives as fully as they hoped, to make proactive rather than reactive choices about work and play, end quote. Like anything else, if used in moderation, technology holds no ill effects. However, we have turned it into a 24/7 extension of our lives and can no longer imagine living without these devices. Because it offers instant gratification, it has become a new form of pacifier that we scream for when it is taken away from us. Also in 2010, The Digital Pandemic was authored by Dr. Mark Hicks, which provided a fascinating thesis on the effect of technology on our youth. In all these studies, the authors concluded technology exhibits the same type of addictive powers as chemical dependency, or at the very least, gambling, which also does not require drugs in the usual sense. Actually, the parallel between technology and gambling addiction is quite remarkable and can be just as devastating. However, it appears Dr. Kardaras' paper and book finally provides the hard data needed to prove the legitimacy of technology addiction. In terms of technology, perhaps the biggest difference between the 20th century and 21st is how technology has changed the pace of our lives. We now expect to communicate with anyone on the planet in seconds, not days. We expect information at our fingertips. We expect to be up and walking shortly after a hip or knee replacement. Basically, we take a lot for granted. Let me leave you with one last thought. Life doesn't emulate art, it emulates technology. Think about it. Are we becoming more robotic in our thinking? Do we rely on technology to accommodate the thinking processes of the brain? If so, then researchers like Dr. Kardaras are absolutely correct. I'll close with Bryce's law that says, as the use of technology increases, social skills decrease. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce of Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.